Hey guys, welcome to Melanin United. On this video, we're going to talk about our Kenyan sister and what has happened to her coming out of Saudi Arabia. So, some Kenyan women, some Ethiopian women, and women around that region go to Saudi Arabia and these Arab countries to find jobs and stuff like that, and like maid jobs and like housework and all that kind of stuff, right? So you think, okay, they're doing that for money and all that, understandable, okay. And then what we found out about in this video, this Kenyan woman, this sister of mine, was forced, oh my god, she was forced to breastfeed dogs. She was forced to breastfeed dogs. I'm gonna say that one more time. She was forced to breastfeed dogs by these Arabs. See, we don't talk about these Arabs enough. Yes, the European is our number one enemy, but the Arab is right there too with the European, 1A, 1B. We don't talk about these Arabs' racism and how they're still committing slavery on black people. They've invaded Africa. They're still in North Africa right now, in Egypt, in Libya, in Morocco, all these places. And for example, when a lot of these African men, our brothers of ours, are running away from their country and going to Europe and stuff, these migrants, a lot of them, when they go on the water, a lot of them end up dying, right? But before they do, they go into these North African countries that are invaded by these Arabs, and a lot of them captured our brothers and put them into slavery and sell them into auctions, and we don't talk about that enough. And then our women go into Saudi Arabia and these Arab countries, and they get treated like slaves, do slave work and all that. And this video is one of the proofs. Breastfeeding a dog? Why don't they do that to their Arab women? This only happens to our sisters, our women. And something has to be done about this immediately. The Kenyan president, I talked about him, William Ruto. The Ethiopian Prime Minister, Abiy Ahmed, I talked about him. Those are good leaders. They got to stop, and the government in whole got to stop allowing women, our women, to go into these Arab countries. Our women to go into these Arab countries when they're being treated like this. There's videos There's videos that came out of these Arab countries selling black women, putting auctions and prices on black women on Facebook to other Arab dealers. And who's doing something about it? This Arab is so racist. I'm gonna say a quote from the great Dr. John Henry Clark, the Pan-Africanist. He said, because we always talk about the European, but he also talked about the Arab, because the Arab is a sneaky little motherfucker. These people, he said, they've committed war in the Sudan and North Africa and all that by trying to force their culture. They've actually forced their culture into these North African and East African communities and countries. They forced their cultures, forced their language and all that. He said they're selling alcohol to African people. They're ordering women from Europe, and they are as holy as a dog. That's these Arab people. That's what Dr. John Henry Clark said. They are as holy as a dog. They act all holy because Islam and all that. And nothing bad about Islam, and when you actually practice that faith properly. See, we, black people, African people, we're the only ones that practice these religious, Islam, Judaism, Christianity. We're the only people that practice these religions faith properly, spiritually. These people, they practice it. And this is not all Arabs, okay? There's some Arabs that are good, of course. There's good in all people, but like I said, majority of all these races are taught to hate black people. But these Arabs, all these groups hate black people, but the two biggest enemies and the two biggest anti-black races in this planet is the Europeans and the Arabs. There's no question about it. The Chinese is third, or the Indians, but the Europeans and the Arabs. The Arabs, a lot of them talk about Islam and being Muslims and all that, and they use that as a blindness to distract African people, distract black people, and they use it as political tools to infiltrate Africa, take resources, and force the cultures in these countries because you see their practices. They don't do that. Like we don't see that coming out with any other races. What they do, how they treat our women, our men in Saudi Arabia and these Arab nations. Like that video was disgusting, and just how that's just how our sister was crying. Like that pissed me off. That shit pissed me the hell off. And something has to be done to this Arab. Like soon enough, we're gonna have to start being very hostile towards them in Africa. Like we gotta shut them down. We gotta be very hostile towards them. At some point, we might have to kick them out of the continent. I'm not even lying to you guys. At some point, we might have to kick them out of the continent, then take military action towards them in the Middle East, which is really Northeast Africa. But this kind of stuff should never happen. This kind of stuff should bring outrage across the world, like across the black world. See, like some of us, when we doing media, some of us do individual countries, and that's good too, because black people, we have problems in every country. We're treated bad in every country, every place in this world. But some of us, like me for example, that's why I want to do it about our people everywhere, because I want to bring light to how we're treated everywhere, and not enough coverage gets talked about African women going into these Arab countries and getting sold, getting treated as slaves, getting beat, working for free, over hours, no pay, and these kind of disgusting behaviors that these Arabs put on them. So, yeah, this is not the last time I'm going to be talking about situations like this. This is very upsetting and very gross. Thanks, guys, for listening. Like, comment, subscribe.